Got a houseboat.
Rescuers scoured a devastated Central Texas landscape of mangled trees, overturned cars, and muck-filled debris Saturday in an increasingly bleak mission to locate survivors, including 27 girls who have not been seen since their camp was slammed with a wall of water in a historic flash flood. The flooding in Kerr County killed at least 43 people, including 15 children, and at least 8 people died in nearby counties. Authorities still have not said how many people were missing beyond the children from Camp Mystic, a Christian summer camp along a river in Kerr County where most of the dead were recovered. The destructive, fast-moving waters rose 26 feet, 8 meters, on the Guadalupe River in just 45 minutes before daybreak Friday, washing away homes and vehicles. The danger was not over as rains continued pounding communities outside San Antonio on Saturday, and flash flood warnings and watches remained in effect. Searchers used helicopters, boats, and drones to look for victims and to rescue people stranded in trees and from camps isolated by washed-out roads.
It too is washed out.
Governor Greg Abbott vowed that authorities will work around the clock and said new areas were being searched as the water receded. He declared Sunday a day of prayer for the state.
I tell you what, let's go to that academy and let's get some...
I urge every Texan to join me in prayer this Sunday, for the lives lost, for those still missing, for the recovery of our communities, and for the safety of those on the front lines, he said in a statement. Authorities were coming under scrutiny over whether the camps and residents in places long vulnerable to flooding received proper warning and whether enough preparations were made. The hills along the Guadalupe River in central Texas are dotted with century-old youth camps and campgrounds where generations of families have come to swim and enjoy the outdoors. The area is especially popular around the July 4th holiday, making it more difficult to know how many are missing. We don't even want to begin to estimate at this time, Kerrville City Manager Dalton Rice said earlier. The camp was completely destroyed, said Eleanor Lester, 13, one of hundreds of campers. A helicopter landed and started taking people away. It was really scary. The raging storm, fueled by incredible amounts of moisture, woke up her cabin just after midnight Friday. When rescuers arrived, they tied a rope for the girls to hold as they walked across a bridge with water whipping around their legs, she said. Frantic parents and families posted photos of missing loved ones and pleas for information. Among those confirmed dead were an 8-year-old girl from Mountain Brook, Alabama, who was at Camp Mystic, and the director of another camp just up the road. The flooding in the middle of the night caught many residents, campers, and officials by surprise. AccuWeather said the private forecasting company and the National Weather Service sent warnings about potential flash flooding hours beforehand. These warnings should have provided officials with ample time to evacuate camps such as Camp Mystic and get people to safety, AccuWeather said in a statement. It called the Hill Country one of the most flash flood-prone areas of the U.S. because of its terrain and many water crossings.
That's the marker.
At the Emo Ranch camp in the community of Hunt, officials had been monitoring the weather and opted to move several hundred campers and attendees at a church youth conference to higher ground. At nearby camps Rio Vista and Sierra Vista, organizers also had mentioned on social media that they were watching the weather the day before wrapping up their second summer session Thursday. Authorities and elected officials have said they did not expect such an intense downpour, the equivalent of months' worth of rain for the area. U.S. Representative Chip Roy, whose district includes the ravaged area, called it a once-in-a-century flood and acknowledged that there would be second-guessing and finger-pointing as people look for someone to blame. Search crews were facing harsh conditions while looking in every possible location, Rice said. Officials said more than 850 people had been rescued in the last 36 hours, and there were heroic efforts at the camps to save children. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem arrived and pledged that the Trump administration would use all available resources. Coast Guard helicopters and planes were assisting to ensure operations can continue even in darkness. One reunification center at an elementary school was mostly quiet after taking in hundreds of evacuees the day before. We still have people coming here looking for their loved ones. We've had a little success, but not much, said Bobby Templeton, superintendent of Ingram Independent School District.
They activated.
In Ingram, Aaron Burgess woke to thunder and rain in the middle of the night. Just 20 minutes later, water was pouring into her home, she said. She described an agonizing hour clinging to a tree with her teen son. My son and I floated to a tree where we hung onto it, and my boyfriend and my dog floated away. He was lost for a while, but we found them, she said. Barry Adelman said water pushed everyone in his 3-story house into the attic, including his 94-year-old grandmother and 9-year-old grandson. I was having to look at my grandson in the face and tell him everything was going to be okay, but inside I was scared to death, he said. Locals know the place as Flash Flood Alley.
Water's flowing.
When it rains, water doesn't soak into the soil, said Austin Dixon, CEO of the Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country, which was collecting donations. It rushes down the hill. The weekend forecast had called for rain, with a flood watch upgraded to a warning overnight Friday for at least 30,000 people. We know we get rains. We know the river rises. But nobody saw this coming, said Kerr County Judge Rob Kelly, the county's chief elected official. The county had considered a flood warning system on the river similar to a tornado warning siren about 6 or 7 years ago, but Kelly said the idea never got off the ground and the cost would have been an issue. Kelly said he was heartbroken seeing body bags at the funeral home and the devastation on the ground during a helicopter tour. The rescue has gone as well as can be expected. It's getting time now for the recovery, he said, and that's going to be a long, toilsome task for us. Emergency crews across Williamson County are continuing search, rescue, and evacuation efforts after severe flooding inundated the region overnight. Williamson County is under a flood watch through 10 p.m. Saturday night. According to officials, 3 people are still missing after floodwaters swept through parts of the county. 2 missing are from a home near Hope House in Liberty Hill, where 16 residents had to be evacuated. Liberty Hill Fire Department, Leander's Water Rescue Team, and other first responders remain on scene, with 1 active rescue operation underway. The 3rd missing person is also out of the Liberty Hill area. Williamson County officials say there have been no confirmed deaths as of 5:15 p.m. Saturday. Overnight, they successfully rescued and evacuated 25 citizens of Williamson County, said Williamson County Judge Stephen Snell. We've declared a local state of disaster. We're asking everyone to stay vigilant, avoid flooded areas, and follow evacuation orders so first responders can focus on life-saving operations. Officials confirm at least 10 water rescue recoveries were made since Friday night in mobile homes and cars, saving 26 people. Several mobile home parks located near the South Fork of the San Gabriel River received voluntary evacuation notices. Approximately 1,500 messages advising residents to evacuate were sent, and the sheriff's office notified 55 residents by making door-to-door contact. Authorities recommend that those who evacuated wait until daylight tomorrow to return if flooding has receded to safely enter the area. Across the county, 29 roads remain closed due to high water or damage, and the San Gabriel River remains above flood stage. Authorities are urging the public to stay off the roads and not to drive around barricades, as bridges and other infrastructure may be unstable. In Georgetown, flooding forced the evacuation of apartment complexes and several RV parks. The Eastview High School parking lot has been opened as a staging area for evacuated RVs. Shelters are available at Cross Tracks Methodist Church and First United Methodist Church in Georgetown. 10-year-old Georgetown resident Ethan Caluette described the fear sparked by the fast-moving water. "It's scary. Whenever I look at it, I'm like, if I was in that, you're not getting out of that, you're gone. There's no telling how far you're gonna go." County leaders say while the heaviest rainfall has moved out of the area, scattered showers are expected throughout the afternoon and evening, and river levels remain dangerously high. Due to a water main break likely related to the flooding conditions in the area, the city of Georgetown is notifying customers in affected areas to boil their water prior to consumption. Those areas include, but are not limited to, North Old Town/North Addition, Parkview Estates, Katy Crossing, Stillwater, Crystal Knoll, villages of Berry Creek, Water's Edge Apartments, parts of Serenata, Golden Oaks, Riata Trails, Country Club, and Rivery. 37 dogs and 75 cats have been evacuated from the Georgetown Animal Shelter to the Williamson County Regional Animal Shelter. All county emergency agencies remain fully activated, with air support from Fort Hood on standby. State agencies are also prepared to assist if conditions worsen. Residents are urged to stay informed through official channels, obey all evacuation orders, and avoid low-lying areas and flooded roadways.
The bridge just broke.
Meanwhile, President Donald Trump said his administration is working on the ground in Texas to support the state amid devastating floods. The Trump administration is working with state and local officials on the ground in Texas in response to the tragic flooding that took place yesterday, he wrote on Truth Social. Our Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, will be there shortly. Melania and I are praying for all of the families impacted by this horrible tragedy. Our brave first responders are on site doing what they do best, he added. God bless the families, and God bless Texas.
He comes to our salon. He's pissed.
Not happy.
Get him. Get him.